What's up, guys? It's Brett with Reliable Marketing, and in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about whether you should pressure your prospects, and if you're going to, which you are, how you're going to actually do that. So when it comes to pressure, a lot of people have like these negative thoughts about it. They think about just really pushy bullying type of pressure and like forcing someone to do something that's actually not in their best interest. So if you think of pressure that way and you're a good person, then obviously you're not going to want to pressure people. You're going to think it's bad, you're going to think it's evil. And honestly, doing it that way pretty much is. So it's good. What you have to do is transform the way that you think about the pressure. And it's really simple. If what you offer can help someone, then you should pressure them to do it. You should put pressure and use leverage and use your personality, and you should use your skills, and you should use everything at your disposal to get them to actually do it. Like, for example, with our service, our Facebook advertising service, if anyone's considering doing Facebook advertising and their business is a reasonably good fit, meaning I think there's like a 70 or more % chance that they will make money, then I'm gonna pressure that client to do it, because they're probably gonna end up doing Facebook advertising anyway. And I know that if they go with someone else to help them with that, there's like a 20% chance that they'll have success with it. And from all the stories that I've heard, because I talk with a lot of prospects, most of the times I'm talking with 6 to 8 prospects a day, and so I hear the stories, and 9 times out of 10 that they say they tried Facebook advertising before, they say, yeah, I tried it and we made 0 money. We only got like 12 leads and we spent $5,000, or some variation of that kind of story. So I know that on our worst campaigns, they at least get tons of leads. On our worst campaigns, sometimes our clients don't make sales, but a lot of times that's a sales problem within their company. There's not a whole lot that our service does to remedy that. We try to coach them where we can if we've got the time and we can do that, but it's really not part of our service. That's just going above and beyond to try and actually help. But anyways, so you have to have reasons that you have confidence that you can help people. You need to be really, really confident in your service. And so that either comes down to, one, building up reasons why your service is so valuable and so good for people. Or if you can't do that with your current service, then you need to adjust your service. You need to develop something or get connected with a service that can actually deliver a huge value to your clients. Because when you know that you provide huge value and what you're doing is really good for people, it becomes so much easier for you to put the necessary pressure to actually close it. So like with one of our recent new clients, I'll give you kind of their story and how I pressured the guy to become a client. So he had been on our list for probably 3 months or so. He'd come through one of our campaigns, but he hadn't signed up yet. And so I'd seen his business and I'd talked with him already, and I knew that he was a good fit. I knew that he was interested. And he'd actually had me send over all the documentation and an invoice and the onboarding stuff to get started, but he never actually signed up. And I'd followed up a couple times over email, like, hey, where are we at on this, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, oh, you know what? I saw him in the CRM, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick up the phone and call this guy. So I picked up the phone and I called him, and he was like, oh, yeah, I didn't forget about you. I just wasn't sure about XYZ. I tried Facebook before and I got burnt. I don't have a whole lot of money to like just play around with this stuff. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I was like, okay, cool, got it. And so he kind of asked me, like, do you have confidence that you can actually help with this? And at that point, there was enough trust between us that me saying yes actually made a difference. So I said, yes, we can absolutely help with this. And then he was like, okay, awesome. You sold me, is what he said. You sold me. Can you send over the stuff again? I sent it over. He didn't fill it out. He didn't sign up. I called him the next day. This went on for like a week of every time I'd call back, he'd have more objections, more questions, more uncertainties. And I just kept putting that kind of pressure on. Not pressure like, sign up now, do it. But pressure like, I'm there, I'm paying attention to you. Someone's watching you. You know, you need to make a decision. Not like in a pushy way, but he could feel the pressure from me being there and caring so much. And long story short, he signed up. He actually signed the agreement and paid the invoice and set up his onboarding call. And then in his first week, he made over $5,000 in sales. And he didn't pay us that much, just to let you know. He didn't pay us that much or pay that much in ad spend. That's his first week. So if this continues over the month, he'll make 20 grand, which before he would be lucky to make 5,000 in sales in a month. So putting that pressure on him actually did him a lot of good, made him a huge benefit. So I think you should absolutely use pressure when you've got a prospect who you think that you can help. And you should do everything in your power to get them to sign up as a client. And pressure is one of those tools. So a lot of people, like I was saying in the beginning, they think of pressure as the only model that they have for pressure is really like the bullying, pushy type. But that's not all there is to pressure. Pressure could be urgency, a timeline, a deadline. Pressure could be just the fact that you keep coming back and they start to feel kind of obligated to respect you and respect your time. That's a huge one. That's probably, if you're not really good at applying pressure yet, just start with that. Start with showing up day after day, being eager for the business. It's another thing. A lot of people, especially when they start agencies, and even if their agency's like small, they still don't want to appear like they need the business. They don't want to look too hungry for the business or like they want to work with the client too much. They try to play all big, but there's not really a whole lot of value in that, because when a client thinks, oh, they're too big to even, like, if you do successfully convey that, then the client's just like, oh, they're too big to care about me, my business doesn't matter to them, so they probably won't even notice if I just take 3 months to decide or just disappear. And so there's no pressure. But when you keep showing up, you're eager for the business, there's pressure to work with you. And then you also have the opportunity to develop a relationship with them. When you've got a relationship with them where, you know, they remember who you are, they know you, they're familiar with you, you guys have talked, they trust you, then anything that you do to apply pressure is going to be magnified a lot. So even just pressure could be calling them back after they said that they want to make a decision. I don't know how many agency owners I've talked with don't actually call their prospects back once they've had the initial call. They just wait for the prospect to take some kind of action, when in reality they probably aren't even clear on what that plan of action is, because most people don't do a good job at explaining that plan of action. And then if they even if you're good at it, your clients aren't going to get it. They have to actually go through it, the like onboarding stuff to become a client. They actually have to go through it before they're going to get it. It seems simple to you because you're so familiar with it. But if you think back to when you like planned out how that was going to work, you had to piece the pieces together in your head to make it make sense of how you were going to do it. So just understand your clients don't have that much clarity, or your prospects don't have that much clarity. They need follow-up and they need that pressure. So this has kind of been a little bit of a rant about pressure and caring about your prospects and stuff like that. But I would say the key thing is, yes, do apply pressure. Think of ways that you can apply pressure, even if it's just showing up over and over, so that they start to feel kind of indebted to you. And you'll be able to close a lot more deals. So that's it. Hope this helps, and I'll see you guys next time.